Hi everyone. I'm making this video to discuss the design difference between a vintage minifigure and a modern minifigure. I'm going to go through each part of a minifigure and talk about how each part has evolved over each generation and how to tell the difference if a minifigure is vintage or not. This is a good example of two minifigures that we can compare. This is the original classic space astronaut from set 497 from 1979. And this is the new brown astronaut that came out with the minifigure series 24 in 2023. And this is a good example how these would reproduce on the same design, but let's see what's the big difference between those two. But there was one big design that came up between these two minifigures is the one, and this is a good example to demonstrate that one. This is the pirate set from 1978 from the Black Sea Barracuda set 6285. So let's kind of break these down and see the big differences. And I'm going to start with the head design, the torso design, and the leg design. So let's start with the heads first. So I added a fourth design, and this came out between 1989 to 1992 and continued out to 2002. And I'll talk about this, the difference between this and other minifigure heads. So let's start with the original one. And the main thing with this one is you're going to notice the solid stud, on top. And this is how you can tell the difference between the vintage ones and the newer ones. And then in 1989 to 1992, this design came out, and the big difference is going to be the edge design. You can see the edge is much more squared compared to the vintage one. And then in 1989 to 1992, the vented minifigure came out. This is the one that has the opening on there. This is just to let the air through in case of choking situation. And this came out between, like I said, 1989 to 1992 and continued on until 2002. And the modern design, which is this one, and you can tell this one with this hollow head and a hollow stud. And you can see the opening up onto the hollow up on top. And this came out in between 2009 2012 and continues till today. So these are the four designs. So next up, let's talk about the torsos. So here's the torso design, and the torso is the item number is 973P. And so this is the 1978 version. If you turn them over, this is how you can tell the difference between them. See, the 1978 version had the opening that didn't have any clutch mechanism. And then moving on to 1989 version, and this one has the small kind of the initial clutch mechanism. This torso came out in between 1984 and 1989. And then you can see the modern design has a more complex clutch mechanism. And this design came out between 1993 to 1998 and is present all the way till today. And that's the main difference between the torsos. So let's look at the legs next. Here are the three different leg designs, and then this is item number 970C. And the big difference is going to be, if you look at the side, is the seam on the side. So if you look at this original one from 1978, you can see there's no seam. It's a smooth surface on the side, and you can tell these are from 1978. Then around 1984, when we start getting the seam right here, and then you can see the modern version that you can see that seam very clearly with that one. So this is the way you can tell the difference between the vintage one and new ones. Now let's look at underneath underneath the legs here at the feet. So here are the legs, and if you turn them over, and this is the part that I want to kind of look at and concentrate on. Let's kind of zoom in. We can tell difference here. So you can see the difference between the vintage and new ones. And if you look at the opening, you see that the newer ones have a much bigger opening for to have a looser grip. And the reason they made this design is, you can see right here at the stress fracture that the older design were getting. And you see the stress fracture got less with the second generation, and they kind of solved that issue with the third generation. And the big difference is going to be the medial wall. You can see it's much thinner compared to the original ones, and then the back wall, you can see, is significantly thicker than compared to the 1978 version. And that's how they kind of solved that issue. And I'll demonstrate how the grip got weaker and weaker over time, and that was intentional. And the other part that you can tell the difference is the Lego logo that was put inside on the modern figures. And this was introduced in 2013. And you can see the previous generation did not have that Lego logo in here. And you can see the new ones have. So this is an easy way to identify the newer legs. So let's look at the grip difference between these three and how Lego made them progressively kind of looser. And here's an example. Here's the original one, and it has significant amount of grip. It takes quite a bit of force to separate. Next one, much easier to separate, and the modern one just separates without any force. It comes off really easy, and that was intentionally designed to be that way. All right, now we can come back to this minifigure that we started with. Let's review each part to confirm this is a vintage set. So we're going to start with the headpiece. Perfect. Solid stud on top. Then we're going to look at the torso. Make sure it's a hollow torso. Great. No clutch mechanism. Then we're going to look at the leg and want to make sure there's no seam. There's no seam there. And then we're going to make sure it's got that strong grip, and it does have that strong grip. And also confirm that there is no Lego print on the inside of the leg, and there's no Lego print on that. So this is the original vintage, and it's true for the age. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you found this video helpful and educational. Please like and subscribe, and goodbye till the next video.